So, what's your name?
Samantha, Sammy,
Sammy, nice to meet you.
you as well.
Where are you from?
I'm from Ohio,
From
right
Ohio.
outside of Cleveland.
How did you end up down here in Miami?
It was really an impulsive last-minute decision I made. I just got out of jail again, and someone that I knew was coming down here, and he pretty much talked me into coming with him. So basically, the night before he was coming, I just bought a plane ticket and decided to go, just to get away. There's a lot going on, and I just needed a break, Didn't know where I was going, what to expect,
How long ago was that you came down here?
About a year and a half ago.
Year and a half ago. Okay. So you spent up until a year and a half ago, your whole life in Ohio?
Yep.
All right. Are you willing to talk about that? Starting from your childhood, what was your childhood like?
Sure. So, my childhood was really shitty. My dad, my whole life, has been a really heavy alcoholic and chain smoker, But he did work very hard though every day. Never missed a day of work. Paid all the bills, made good money. But from the time he got home from work, he'd drink until he passes out every single day, So as a child, he was very, very, he wasn't able to take care of me at all, Every day partying with his friends and getting drunk. And my mom, me and her have a really weird relationship. Like, we've never really been very close. And as a child, I was extremely emotionally and physically abused by her. Like, she gets drunk and all her life, even as a kid, tell me, how I ruined her life, how, I'm worthless, she hates me. She, beat me up and then, kick me out. But then, so I'd leave, and then she'd, call the police and report me as a runaway, So even as a child, I spent time in juvenile detention, locked up, for unruly runaway and truancy. And I remember when I was probably 5 or 6 years old, my mom called the police. They got in really bad arguments every day. My parents, him being a drunk and her being bipolar. My mom called the police on my dad, and he got arrested in his underwear, very drunk, And he never came back home after that. And so after that happened, my mom couldn't afford where we were living by herself, so we moved into a small apartment in the middle of a very small town called Garrettsville, Ohio. And I had an older brother. He was 9 years older than me. He passed away from a heroin overdose. That's later on in the story, okay? So my brother lived with my grandparents, my mom's parents, in Garfield Heights, which is outside of Cleveland. So when we moved into the apartment, it was just me and my mom. And I don't know, it's rough. Because then after she would get drunk and do all that stuff to me, the next day I wake up like nothing ever happened. So that fucked up my head. Am I allowed to cuss? Okay. So that fucked up my head a lot. I couldn't understand what was wrong with me, why she hated me so much, but that it'd be nothing ever happened, So now being older, I understand it, but at the time as a kid, I couldn't understand, So.
How old are you now, by the way?
27. So finally, after years of that going on with my mother, the police would always come and she would play it off like I was a problem, and they believed her. I remember, and also remember we lived in apartments. We had neighbors and friends. People would hear, the altercations going on between her and I, the screaming, the arguing, the hitting. She'd pull me by my hair and throw me into the wall, just scream me, and I always tried to be positive and happy, but covering it up how I felt, So even in school, people noticed that there's a change in me. I wasn't the happy-go-lucky. They noticed me getting depressed and more closed off and stuff like that. So when I was about 7 or 8, I finally had enough. And one time when the police came, the neighbors called the police because they heard all the banging, boom, yelling. And for the first time, I was crying my eyes out. She took me down the stairs, and I finally told the police that my mom was hitting me, hurting me, And they told me to wait downstairs, and they went upstairs and talked to her. And they came back downstairs. They didn't believe me. They took her story over mine. So that really fucked me up because everyone for years was telling me to tell the police, get help, tell the police. I never would. So the first time I finally do try to, look what happens. They don't believe me. They believe her over me. Say that I'm the problem. I'm this, I'm that. I'm a trouble kid. That fucked me up too. So that now I'm like, I don't trust police now. You know, like I finally get the courage to tell them, and they don't fucking believe me. You know, so like, wow, you know, that fucked me up too. So basically, I feel from the time I was young, I was always on my own. I skipped school a lot. I always hung out with older kids, you know, people older than me. We'd like get high every day, you know, stuff like that. So started out like smoking weed. Both my parents smoked weed. I'd take their weed, and you know, and then I was on juvenile probation, so went from weed to thing called like Spice, K2, Tunchi, whatever they call it down here. And that was like a synthetic weed, supposedly. Like you can buy it in the head shops, and it wouldn't show up in drug tests. So when I was on juvenile probation, I'd use that every day to get high. So I couldn't smoke weed or do anything, you know? And like I said, I had an older brother. He was like my protector, my best friend, but he wasn't around all the time because he lived in Cleveland, like I said. But he was like my best friend. I looked up to him a lot. He's my protector. And my brother, when he was like, I don't know, he graduated high school, and then he went to a community college, and he graduated straight A's to be an electrician. So now my brother's a certified electrician making really good money, and he got in a four-wheeling accident and fucked up his back real bad, so he got prescribed to Opanas. That's how I started with him, and Opanas is so fucking expensive. They'd be like $80 a pill. I mean, just his prescription for them every month was like so many hundreds of dollars. So, you know, for him, I guess it got easier, you know, sell one pill for $80 a piece and get a bag of dope for $20. So he ended up getting hooked to heroin. You know, and when I was 17, I was still on juvenile probation, and I remember I was in juvie. I was locked up, and I thought I was gonna get out because it was like right before Christmas time. Christmas was like 3 days away. I went to court, and I thought they were gonna let me out, but instead they sent me to rehab. This is my first time going to rehab. I was a kid, 17. They sent me to this brand new rehab, and it's like, you know, for people under 18, kids or whatever, and it was in Canton, Ohio, which is like about 45 minutes from where I was from. So it's my first time going to rehab. I go there, and mind you, okay, so the last 3 years that my brother was alive, it was like he was locked up, I was out, and then I was locked up and he was out, you know. So like for the last couple of years, it was like, you know, one of us was locked up and one of us was out, so we didn't get to see each other all too often. So I was in this rehab place, and my brother just got out of jail, and I begged my dad and my mom, because my dad would come, even though my dad's been an alcoholic my whole life, he's always been my best friend. Like I said, as a child, he couldn't take care of me, but him and I have always been very close. I was always daddy's little girl. Am I talking too fast? Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yeah.
I know sometimes people say I talk really fast.
No, you're good.
You follow me so far? Okay. So I'm in this rehab, and my brother just got out of jail. I'm begging my parents to bring my brother to come see me. And I remember it was February, and it was a huge snowstorm. And my dad had called the rehab place and said they weren't going to be able to make it because the snow was so bad. I mean, a huge blizzard. Like, there was really no visitation that day because it's snowing so bad. I got so upset because I was so excited to see my brother after so long, you know? But anyway, they surprised me, and they did end up showing up, like, way later. My mom, my dad, my brother came. And I was so happy. And that was the first time that was the last time I saw my brother alive. So I thank God to this day that they did come through that snowstorm and come, you know? And like 2 weeks after that visit at the rehab place, I got a letter from my brother. And he wrote me at the rehab place. And I wrote him back. And I wrote him like a 3-page letter, like it's really good, all colorful, decorated. And he died on March 4th. He died March 4th. And that letter that I sent was in the mailbox. He never got to read it. Like, the letter was still in the mailbox the day that he died, because yeah. So anyway, March 4th, I wake up, I lay in the morning, my counselors wake me up in bed, so I'll come on, you gotta call your dad, it's an emergency, whatever. I'm still in the rehab place, you know? So I'm like panicking instantly, like, what's going on? They said my brother had an accident, whatever. I never thought I'd hear what she said. I called my dad, and he's driving my dad. My dad says Alex is dead. And I couldn't believe it. So he said Alex is dead. He overdosed. But dead, whatever. And I don't really remember so much how my reaction was. I guess I just blacked out and fell to the floor screaming and crying, whatever. Constance trying to console me. I'm hitting her, telling her to get the fuck away from me. I'm freaking out, I don't know. That just really fucked me up. I never expected that, to hear them words that my brother was dead. So the rehab place, immediately they gave me a 5-day emergency home pass. So my dad came and picked me up, I went straight to where my brother stayed at my grandparents' house, which is where he passed away at. And, I found that letter in the mailbox. Never got to read it. I was really upset about that. I buried that letter with him. I'm really, really upset about that part. So my brother had a lot of depression issues as well, and an addict, like I said. My brother never knew his real dad at the time he was a kid, so that always fucked him up lightweight. And like I said, my dad always been an alcoholic, whatever. So, my brother had a lot of issues with depression and whatnot as well. So him overdosing, that really fucked me up when he died. That took a big piece of my heart away. I've never been the same since then, People always says, it'll get better over time, time will heal, and that pisses me off. Fuck you, it's never gonna get better. The pain today to this day is still just as real as it was that day, I get back to the rehab program. I kind of had to fake it until I make it the rest of the time, pretend I was really, really not okay with my brother. That fucked me up really bad. I want me to talk about it and keep me longer, but I just did what I had to do and told them what they wanted to hear so I can hurry up and complete the program and get the fuck out of there and go home, So I get out of the rehab. I'm 17 years old, getting ready to turn 18. My dad bought me my first car. It was a 1998 Mercedes-Benz ML320. I thought I was a shit, being 17, having the Mercedes, It was a really nice car. We only paid $1,000 for it. And at the same time that's happening, I ended up getting a relationship with one of my brother's friends that he knew. Remember, my brother was 9 years older than me, okay? So I'm 17, and the guy that I fell in love with, he was 24. So I was 17, he was 24. He ended up being the first one that was shooting me up with heroin. I got a rehab at the time. He had also got a rehab. So at the time it started, we were both clean. I had the car, we were going to meetings, both working, having money, do whatever, whatever we wanted. And at that point, I was content with my life. I had the job, I had the car, I had the boyfriend. I thought I was doing okay. But I relapsed. Every time, I guess the first thing I always relapse on for some reason is crack before anything else. When I'm smoking here, the crack. Do you mind? Is it okay if I take my last hit over here real quick? Or do you mean to keep talking? I can do it right here. Just in the book. Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. You don't mind?
No.
Give me 1 second.
As long
Am I
as you
doing
don't
okay
mind.
so far?
You're doing fantastic.
Okay. Yeah, anyway, so now I have the car, I'm doing good, whatever. I'm with the boyfriend. Started smoking crack. And I liked it a lot. And then started doing the Percocet 30s and got hooked on those really easily, but they were really expensive. They're $15 a pill. And then I don't remember exactly how it started. I really can't tell you the first time I tried the heroin for the first time. The first time I tried it, I can't really remember where it was or who I was with. I'm not sure. Before the guy shot me up, I was 20. But I don't remember the first time I tried it. Not sure. Yeah, I do know. It's my friend Cheyenne. And I snorted a tiny little bump the size of a match head. and I immediately, like, they say that the heroin is like pure euphoria, heaven on earth, is what they say, what I've heard. But in my opinion, it's also a fucking devil. Evil. I really, really hate this shit. I hate that I have to depend on this shit every single day just to be able to function. Because if I don't have it, I get really, 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 really sick. I mean, I can't even get out of the bed or do nothing. You know, I'll be throwing up everywhere. It's bad, and I hate it. I've been sober before. I've been in multiple rehabs, and I know how to get sober and what I need to do it. I just had 3.5 years clean before the father of my son passed away. You know, I have a son. He's 4 years old. Okay, hold on. So when I turned 18, I caught my first felony case. Like, immediately when I turned 18. Which is why I ended up doing 3 years in prison, you know. So I turned 18. I got charged with receiving stolen property. Which is, so I just learned that in Florida, you guys have felony 1s, felony 2s, and felony 3s. In Ohio, we also have felony 4 and felony 5, okay? So I got charged with 3 felony 5s for receiving stolen property. And I dealt with that case for like a good 2 years before I actually went to prison, between doing county time, rehabs, going on the run from probation, you know. So after about 2 years, I finally actually got sent to prison. It was July 3rd. I'll never forget the day I got sentenced. You know, I just completed NEOCAP, which is this thing called Northeast Ohio Community Alternative Program. It's an alternative for prison. It's a prison alternative. And the judges in my county love sending everybody there because they own part of it. So they get like $10,000 for every person they send there. You know what I'm saying? Everyone go to NEOCAP. It's very, 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 very strict. Very strict program. Like prison, you have way more freedom and it's a lot better. Time goes by quicker. But I still completed the program. 3 weeks after I completed the program, I was right back in jail, you know? So it's July 3rd, I went to court, and she was trying to send me back to NEOCAP again, the thing that I just completed. I was like trying to negotiate with her and do anything else. I'm like, can I go to any other kind of program or like house arrest or still anything other than what I just did? And she was like, well, I was like, I thanked her for sending me there and told her I did really good there and I completed it and I got a lot out of it. And she's like, well, obviously it didn't work too well before you did it. Okay. So I was trying to negotiate with her. She didn't like that. She said, Miss Baker, we're not playing. Let's make a deal. And sentenced me to 3 years in prison. I didn't see that coming. But honestly, I'm glad that I did go to prison because I completed all my time. It's the first time ever that I didn't have no probation over my head, no warrants over my head. You know, like I was finally free, that ultimate freedom. When I signed those release papers from prison, I literally cried. It's the first time ever since I can remember that I was completely free from everything. You know, no warrants, no nothing. Free from the system, free from addiction, free from everything. You know? I did good for a while. You know, okay, well, the last 6 months of my prison sentence, I did transitional control, TC, which is where they send you to a halfway house to like transition back into the community, you know? So I went to this place called Power Street in Akron where I was able to work and save up money and you know, the last 6 months of my sentence. If you do good in prison, they send you there your last 6 months, you know, to like transition you back into, you know, regular life, I guess. So I got a job working in a place called Ruby Tuesday. It's a really good restaurant. Have you ever heard of that, Ruby Tuesday?
Yeah.
Yeah. They have one down here?
They used to. I haven't seen one in years, but I remember as a kid going to one.
Yeah, salad bar.
Yeah, it was it was like a Fridays, but
yeah, it is. You like a Fridays, yep. Yeah, I love Ruby Tuesday. It was a good job, man. I liked my job. When I went in there for my job interview, remember in the halfway house, so I had nothing in my hand but a flip phone and a prison ID. You know? Because they wanted like a real ID, and I'm like, I have a prison ID, that's all I have, you know? But I was honest with them. I was honest with the manager and told her like what I was going through, you know? And she was really cool about it, you know what I'm saying? I told her I just got out of prison, I'm in the halfway house, and she was really, really cool about it and had no problem giving me a chance at all, you know? And she respected the fact that I was honest with her, you know what I mean? So that was cool. I was so scared. And coming out of prison, I had the worst social anxiety, you know? Like being around people, even just walking in the Walmart. I had bad anxiety, you know? But I ended up doing really good. And, so I end up getting with this guy who is the father of my son, my baby dad. I just got out of prison. I'm working. And he had also just got out of prison. And it was someone that I've known for a long, long time, from like years and years and years ago. When I was with that first guy I told you about that shot me up with heroin for the first time. Me and the one that shot me up with the boy, my first love or whatever, Tyler, me and him had our own house in Ravenna. When we had our own house, it's a party house. We ended up relapsing on everything. Now we're strung out on dope. I lose a car, smoking crack, doing the heroin. And we got so far back into our addictions, we end up losing everything, the house. Because, like, when you're sober, it takes a long time to build everything up. The house, the car, but you lose it all like that when you relapse. I mean, instantly, Stealing, fucking, as a booster, stealing from all the stores, doing returns, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. So, like I said, when you get dope sick, you literally, your body literally depends on that shit every single day, every day, just to be able to do anything at all, function, I hate that part. Like, honestly, right now, today, I'm not having fun living like this, like, it's fucking miserable. For real. Like, I'm not out here having a good time. At all, So, anyway, like I said, I met my baby dad years and years ago at that house that me and Tyler had, And he was trying to hook up with me then. And he was all drunk and drunk, like, fuck you, Justin, I hate you, leave me alone. But we ended up getting in contact over Facebook. It's after I get out of prison. He'd also just got out of prison. It's actually really fucking weird because I'm weird with numbers and shit, okay? So the day that me and Justin got in contact on Facebook was 7/16, which is July 16th. I didn't realize this till way later because my favorite number is 16 and his favorite number is 7. And the day we get together is 7/16. Just weird with the number shit, okay? So, Justin said that he couldn't have kids, because he used to be a big man whore. And he said he never used a condom and nobody ever got him pregnant. But then 1 month that him and I talked, I was pregnant. Literally. And he's like, that's not my kid, I can't have kids, blah, 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 blah. No, it was his kid, no deny it. I was very, very loyal, I don't cheat, I'm not like that. I know how it feels to get cheated on. And I never understood that. Like, if you're supposed to be with somebody and love them, why are you gonna cheat on them? Like, if anything, just break up with them, you know what I'm saying? If you're not happy, What the fuck is the point of that? I don't understand it. Like, why are you gonna hurt me? If you don't want to be with me, just leave, Don't do that to me, you feel me? Can't understand that part. But anyway, so I did not plan or expect that I'd get pregnant, at all. After him and I just got out of prison, and me and him are just talking. Not even together, we're just talking. Not even a month and I'm pregnant. But, my son was due on May 16th, and he came a whole month early. I almost brought him home. He was born on 4/20/20. That's everything, yeah. And, he came a month early, so he was only 4 pounds when he was born, I didn't know that I was in labor. Like, literally, I almost had him at home. I just knew that I was in a lot of pain, and I couldn't sit, I couldn't stand. I felt like I had to shit. I kept going to the bathroom trying to poop, and I couldn't get it out. Like, I felt literally, like, it felt like I had to shit so bad, and I'm pushing, and I couldn't get nothing out. And, like, for hours doing this. So every time I get off the toilet, I'd run back to the toilet. I'm calling the doctor, the baby doctor, like, I think something's wrong, man. I'm in a lot of pain. And they're like, are you having contractions? I'm like, I don't know, bitch, I've never been pregnant before. Like, I need help, something's wrong, And they're like, okay, well, if it keeps happening, just come in and see the doctor. And I thought, oh, thanks, that was real helpful. After going through this with hours, going on the toilet and getting off the toilet and being in so much pain, I can't lay, I can't sit. Still trying to push out the shit. And all of a sudden, I feel pressure on my vagina, and his head's starting to come out. Oh, fuck no, I'm running through the house freaking out like, Dad, his head's coming out, help me. I'm trying to push his head back inside, be like, no, don't come out, stay there. My dad's like, oh, you're fine, your mom's on her way. I'm like, bro, I'm having my fucking kid now. I had to call 911. I'm in the ambulance, like, don't push, I can't fucking help it. Literally, not even 5 minutes being in the hospital, I push him out. My son's here,
Was he healthy?
Yeah, perfect, it's perfect. That was wild there, boy, like... So I had him all natural, no epidural, no nothing, Oh my God, that was rough.
Were you using while pregnant?
No, I was still sober at that point. Coming out of prison, I did good for a while, I was sober for quite a while after prison, and I was like content with life. I had a good job working at Ruby Tuesday. It was nice, even just being able to wake up and not be dope sick every day was a fucking blessing to me, Just being able to just, having money to be able to go out to eat, go to concerts, whatever the fuck I wanted to do, I was able to do. For the first time in a long time. Like I said, the ultimate freedom, after prison. Enjoying life again for the first time in a very, very, very long time. And having my son changed my life, so it was so unexpected. Amazing. He was only 4 pounds though, so he was so tiny. He had to be in the NICU, the NICU, which also is a blessing because a lot of kids, when that happens, when they're preemies, a lot of times they have to be in there for like months. My son was only in there for 3 days before he got to come home, so that was a blessing too, Well, you asked me though, my son was born with opiates in his system. I forgot to tell you this part. So the last like 2 months of my pregnancy, I had a really rough pregnancy. I was very, 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 very sick, very weak. Because I was so small, like how I am now. I've always been tiny like this. I'm so small that my son, I couldn't gain no weight during my pregnancy at all. I mean, the doctors were getting worried. I couldn't gain weight. I was so sick. My son's growing inside of me, and he's blocking the flow of my kidneys, so my kidneys are inflamed and enlarged. So now I have a really bad kidney infection, and I'm in so much pain. I'm in the hospital. I was in the hospital 3 separate times the last 2 months of my pregnancy, and each times were for a week at a time. So I'm in so much pain. They're giving me morphine through the IV while I'm pregnant, okay? They're giving me morphine and Percocet. So much pain, I'm saying. I was really scared about that because I explained to him about my history of drug addiction. I'm like, is my baby getting any of this, Like, I was terrified. And they're like, yeah, he is, he's going to get some of it. And I'm like, terrified. I'm like, bro, I don't want that shit. And like, it's the only thing that's going to help your pain, And as soon as they hit me with that morphine through the IV, I felt it, that rush again, that rush, And that's the first taste of it I got after all that time in prison,
So was that like sort of a start to your relapse in a way?
Somewhat, yeah, but after the hospital at that point, I still had relapse yet at that point, but that was the first taste of, yeah, like we were saying, like that mental, yeah, that taste of it, that feeling again. It triggered something in my brain, but I was about to have my kid within the next couple weeks, so I still, hadn't relapsed yet, but that was the first taste of what I got. But also, because of that, my son was born with opiates in his system, so they did open a case against me, but it was closed right away immediately. Once they were able to see the records about, the kidney infection and morphine, case open and closed immediately, And, so moving on, I get out and I have my son, me, him, and my baby dad. We all live together. Baby dad's going to work every day. I stay at home with the kid. Things are going good. I was happy. My son, it was amazing. But me and my baby dad ended up relapsing. It started basically the whole time I was pregnant. And my baby dad was there, but he started drinking real bad drunk, real bad. He cannot control his alcohol at all. Like literally, he drinks till the bottle's gone. He's blacked out drunk, and he turns into a whole different person. Like whole different person, violent, angry. Like he didn't even know what he was doing. Like he'd hit me multiple times when I was pregnant, and like he turned evil. Very scary. We lived with my dad, so I dealt with them both every day. My dad, and like I said, my dad's always been my best friend. He still is to this day. My dad's still alive. He's not doing good though, but he's still drinking and smoking right now. But
is your mother still alive?
Yeah. My mom has my son right now. Hold on, moving on. Baby dad starts drinking every day, and after I had my son, I end up relapsing on crack again. Fuck the heroin. I don't want no boy. I just want to smoke some crack. You feel me? And my son was about 2 months old at this point. The crack always leads back to the dope at some point. At some point, somehow, every time. I know better. Like, I hate when I'm in AA and in recovery, they always say that insanity is doing the same thing over and over but expecting different results. I argue with people about that all the time because I've never, ever expected different results. Ever. Like, I always know. As soon as I do that first whatever, I already know in my head that it's off and running, no turning back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't stand that thing when I say, doing the same thing, expecting different results. Never do I expect different results.
Then it's for the people that do.
Right. I understand that, but they try to argue with me about that, about why I do shit the way I do. I'm like, you cannot sit here and try to. They try to use the psychological, the philosophy, the history, the science of it to try and tell me about my situation and why I do things the way I do. I'm telling them no, but I don't expect different results. That's not why I do it. I already know in my head what it's gonna be every time. I know that. You know? But after 2 months, my son's about 2 months old, I relapsed, started getting high again. Still have my son every day. Never took my son on dope runs. My baby dad's working every day. I stay home. But for the first time ever in my life, after getting high for about a month, I'm like, fuck this, bro. What am I doing, dude? I have a kid. I want better than this. I'm not doing this. For the first time ever in my life, I go and put myself into a detox. For the first time ever in my life, because before having my son, I'm never going to stop getting high until I'm in jail. You know what I'm saying? Nothing will ever stop me at all. But you know, my son would still be like, I'm like, what am I doing, dude? Why? No. I'm not doing this again. Not doing this, you know? First time in my life, I find a detox and put myself in a detox, you know? So I go to the hospital and I tell them, you know, I want a detox. I don't want to do this again, you know? And they're like, okay, well, we have a brand new detox facility upstairs, which I already knew. That's why I went there to that place. I already know that. So I'm like, okay, but they tell me I have to wait for like a day to get in bed. So I'm like, all right, that's fine. So I'm in the hospital for like a day waiting to go to the rehab upstairs. And social worker comes in and opens a case with me for children's services and say they're removing my son from my custody. I'm like, what? So because they say that because I'm there for detox, that I was getting high with him under my care. He's a baby. I'm like, are you fucking serious, bro? So you're telling me that I come to ask you guys for help and you do what? You take my kid from me? Is what you're telling me? Man, I could have kept getting high the whole time and that would have never happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could have, in my head, I'm like, bro, that's so fucked up. I could have stayed right where I was and kept getting high and they would have never took him from me. I wanted help, though.
Yeah, your child couldn't stay with the father?
Huh?
Your child couldn't stay with the father?
No, my dad's an alcoholic.
Your partner at the time?
Oh, my baby dad. He didn't have his own house. He didn't, like for children's services, for the case, you have to have your own house. He has to have his own room. The baby, you know, he has to have his own income, which he did. He had a job and stuff, but he didn't have his own house or a room or daycare, like the babysitter, watch, you know, like there's a whole bunch of stipulations to go with that. You understand?
Yeah.
He was working the case plan, though. But see, baby dad is getting high and drinking, too, though. Baby dad's getting high with me. You know, he's also getting high, so he was in no condition to be able to take care of my son either, because baby dad ended up going back to prison, too, right after this. When he was out, when I got pregnant, he was out on judicial, which meant he was still on probation, still had 18 months over his head. So over time, eventually, he ended up fucking probation, going back to prison for 18 months to finish out his time, you know? So now my son gets taken from me because I try to go get help and baby dad goes back to prison. So that like threw me for a whole curveball. I'm like, man, what the fuck? And I really, really wanted to use that as motivation to better myself. Because, you know, when situations like that, it can go one of two ways. It's either going to motivate you to do better or you're going to use an excuse to go downward, you know? In my opinion, I can't speak for everybody, but that's just my view of it, you know?
I would agree with that.
You agree? Yeah. So in my head, I'm in that detox, you know, as bad as I want. I ended up leaving the detox. So that year, I went to detox 6 different times. And the first 5 times, I ended up leaving. Time number 6, for the first time, I completed. Which in my head was like a big deal. I know it might not seem like it to other people, but to me that was an accomplishment for myself, that I completed it, you know? Because that 6th time that I went and completed it, my baby dad just got out of prison. And he was begging me to get my shit together, you know? Like, you know, what are you going to get clean? He's like, what am I going to tell Mikey, which is our son? He's like, what am I going to tell Mikey when mommy's dead? Because she didn't give a fuck enough to get my shit together. You know? He told me that all the time. So I got out of rehab, the detox I completed, I got out of it on August 11th. And 10 days later, on August 21st, is when my baby dad died. Yeah, so 10 days after I finally completed it, and I think I'm starting to do something right with myself, he passed away. He relapsed. I'm like, man, what the fuck? Because at that time, Like I said, I was going to be fucking up the whole time, getting high. He got out of prison. He was working the case plan to try and get our son back. He was doing everything right. He was working. He was doing the parenting classes. He was doing the drug test. Like, he was doing what he had to do to fight for our son. While I'm not proud to admit it, but I wasn't, you know? And I was like, dude, what's enough gonna be enough for me? Like, I've lost my brother. I've lost all my friends to heroin. And like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Why can't I get it right? When's enough gonna be enough? To myself, I know what I need to do. I know how to do it, but why the fuck can't I do it? Like stuck. I'm like, I don't understand what the fuck is wrong with me, man.
And you gotta find a purpose.
Right.
What if your purpose can be to help people that are like you right now?
Yeah, I love doing that. That's what I did the whole time I was in prison. The whole time I was in prison, I did the military program. You know, in prison, there's different programs you can do. You can like do a dog program. You can have a dog. You can go to college. I did the military program, which is like self-discipline, you know, and I completed the 6-month program. And after that, I continued as a squad leader, which means I had my own squad of girls, and as a platoon sergeant and a platoon leader. So like, every single day I helped other girls. To train them, do the military shit, and share my story with them, and they trusted me, and
That's amazing.
I'm not saying that I'm proud that I went to prison, but I will say is I made the most out of my time in there. You know,
Yeah.
I did. You know, like I said, I don't mind telling my story and trying to help other people. I've always been that way. It's that I care about other people's well-being than I do about my own sometimes. You know? But, I don't know. So, my baby dad passed away. The night that he passed away, again, 10 days after I got out of jail, or out of rehab, 10 days after I got out of the rehab thing, it was a Saturday night that he died, August 21st. And, I was at a hotel with my boyfriend. The boyfriend at the time was, someone I met in the detox I just at. You know that, I'm sure you've heard that. You go to detox, get in a relationship, and, that's like a classic, And, so, yeah, the boyfriend I was with at the time, him and I were at a hotel, and it was like 3 a.m, and we went to the gas station next door to get something to drink because we were so thirsty. We go to the gas station next door to the hotel, get something to drink, and I'm facing the little fountain drink, getting my drink. I didn't realize the police came into the store, and they instantly came up to me and handcuffed me from getting my fucking fountain drink. I had a warrant. And I know it. All the police know me. I don't even gotta be nowhere doing nothing wrong. All they have to do is see my face, and they know who I am. Because like I said, literally my whole life I've been in and out of the system. So they immediately know who I am. And like, man, what the fuck, bro? Like, oh, you got a warrant, whatever. I'm like, man, what the fuck? That pissed me off. I was so upset. And I get in the car, I'm going to jail, and they're like, oh, how's Justin doing? I was with my baby dad. They're like, oh, how's Justin doing? I'm like, oh, he's doing real good. He's working. Little did I know that same time I was getting arrested and going to jail, he was passing away. Same night.
Wow.
There's, what are the chances of that? Like, at the same time I'm going to jail, he's dying. That's wild. That was on a Saturday, so I didn't find out until 2 days later. On Monday, they released me from jail. I called my mom, telling her to come get me, and she told me she's at the funeral home and Justin had died. Man, what? Fucking crazy, man. So again, that fucked me up all over again, extremely. The person I created a life with, is now gone, And, we had, plans for our son, even though my baby dad and I had our ups and downs, he was an amazing father. He was. He was so excited to be a dad. He thought he couldn't have kids, and he was so good with our son. We had a lot of plans, And not only that, but I saw the way that my brother was affected by never knowing his dad. So I'm already thinking, like, how is my son going to be affected by not knowing his father, And, yeah, so after all that happened, basically my friend was coming down here, and I just needed a break, so I decided out of nowhere last minute to come down here with him, just to get away. And basically that's here I am,
And just to be clear, had you fully relapsed before coming down here?
No, when I came down here, I just did 8 days in jail. So I just got over detoxing in jail for 8 days when I came down here. If I was in addiction when I would have came down here, because I've been worried about being dope sick and not knowing where I was going, how to get dope. I would never came down here if I was on dope. I just did 8 days in jail and detox when I came down here.
What was the first thing you did when you got here?
Well, like I said, I didn't come alone. I came with the guy friend, and we got to the Miami airport. He already been down here before, so he already knew like where to go, what to do. Like, he's already familiar with this whole area. He just came back to Ohio and to visit us, coming back down here. So we get to Miami airport, and we get a Uber and go to the hostel where he was taking us to stay. You know what a hostel is?
Was it on the beach?
Huh?
Was it in South Beach?
No, it's right down the road from here.
Oh,
right
okay.
here on 59th and 12th.
But yeah, I know what a hostel is.
Yeah, they're all over the place. All
Yeah.
over. Yeah, so we went to the hostel right there and checked in there, Mhm.
And you've been in this area ever since?
Yeah. Yeah. I want to go to the place. I want to explore. I want to see Miami. I've been stuck right here the whole time.
There's a lot of beautiful places in Miami that you definitely should see. Are you still in touch with the person you came down with?
Yeah, he's around here still.
He's also on the streets?
Yeah. Right, so the hostel is right down the road from here. It's on 59th and 12th, like 2 roads down. And, like I said, when I came down here, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know where I was going, what was going to happen. Like, I didn't know nothing. And, he came down here with some money. He had a couple $1,000s in his pocket when he came down here. And, but basically, we pretty much relapsed, like, basically, like, instantly as soon as we got here. Because he already knew where to go get everything, go get crack, whatever. He knew where all the dope holes were. So basically, pretty quickly, immediately, we relapsed. And that money, that couple $1,000s we had went by so fucking quick. I mean, within like a week or two, and thousands of dollars were gone pretty instantly, immediately. And so now, like, we end up on the streets. And homeless, like, sleeping on cardboard boxes and shit, whatever the fuck. And, as an addict, also being an addict. So, like, I'm panhandling, going to the store begging people for a few dollars, whatever. He disappeared, like, gone, all the way gone. Nobody's seen him for, like, a whole month. He was gone. So now I'm completely by myself on my own. Don't know where he went, what happened. Just disappears. Nobody's seen him. So now I'm, like, completely on my own. Like, down here. And this isn't the best area to be a white girl by yourself, Especially at nighttime. You feel me? And a whole month later, he pops up out of nowhere telling he was in jail. Huh. Yeah, okay. Whatever the fuck. We never got back together, though. We see each other again there, which is crazy, because before coming down here, we've known each other for years and years and years in Ohio, and now it's just like, when we see each other walking by, it's like, hey, what's up, you okay, whatever, fucking weird, whatever, I don't know. So that's fucked up. Now you convinced me to come down here, you take my money and abandon me by myself,
Can you talk about some of the experiences you've had being on the streets in Miami?
Well, so before being down here, I had never once in my life tricked before. I've never had sex for money or nothing like that. I never had to. I was a booster for one, and for two, I was always scared to, because a lot of my friends in Ohio did it, and I've heard a lot of bad stories happening. And not only that, but I was never a person to just be able to meet somebody and have sex with them, To me, it was always like passion, connection, like my baby dad used to be a big whore. Like, he would always say that he can fuck anybody and get a nut. It's different than being in love with somebody, like he would say it. Like, man, what the fuck? Get the fuck out of here. That just wasn't who I was. I can't judge others or nothing. It's just not me, who I was, But now, I'm on my own down here, and now it's just like I said, sex used to mean something to me. Now it's like a job, a way to survive. And I fucking hate it. It's disgusting to me and pathetic to myself, I've had bad things happen like that too, I've had people not pay me, I've had people hold guns to me, try to rape me, rob me,
Do you see yourself getting sober again someday?
Absolutely, yeah, I'm fucking miserable like this. I hate it. I see it coming very soon. My situation I'm in right now is everything's gotten taken from me. I have no ID, no social, no birth certificate, nothing to prove who I am. I can't do nothing with no ID. I need something to prove who I am to be able to get anything. It's like you need one thing to get the other. So that's actually the process I'm working on right now. Trying to figure out how to do that to get an ID.
How much would you say you spend on your habit each day?
Okay, so like I said, I need the boy just to not be sick and function. I smoke crack, I do Molly. So like just the boy in general, it depends if I have good days or bad days. You know, because sometimes I make more money. You know, sometimes I make more money and sometimes I make less money. So like on average, like just for the dope, I need at least 4 bags a day. That's $20, but usually it's more than that. I mean, sometimes I spend $200 a day. Sometimes I spend $30 a day. You know, it just depends.
Have you ever overdosed?
No. Luckily, thank God I have not. I don't know how, but I haven't, no. It's also, I've never, in the 10 years I've been getting high, I've never gotten the song without touching a needle. I haven't touched a needle in over a year. I got myself off the needle, which is also a big accomplishment for me. About a year ago, my best friend came down from Ohio to come see me, and he had been sober for 8 months, and he actually relapsed, he overdosed, and died on my couch, my apartment I had. Ever since that day, I haven't touched a needle. I've lost so many people to this shit. I thought my friend was sleeping, and I woke up next morning and found out he was dead. He wasn't even with me for not 24 hours, and he died.
Are some of the scars you have from needle use?
Yeah. Needle use, and also from my mom putting cigarettes out on me my whole life growing up. I'm covered in scars everywhere.
What are some of your interests? What do you like to do? What would you like to do outside of drug use?
I love people. I'm passionate. I love helping people. I like talking. I like listening. I love learning. I love knowledge. I love outdoors. I love camping. I love fishing. I love sports. I love people. I love animals. I mean, it's just I don't know. I like I don't know. That's it, I guess.
You'll get back to all that. I believe in you. I really want to make a difference and help people, truly.
Me too.
And no one better to do that than you, that's been there.
Right.
All right, Sammy, thank you for talking to me.
I don't know.